Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Something a little bit different for today's review. The round today is at the Ledene Golf Centre in Codswood, which is about 25 minutes outside of Wolverhampton. The difference here being this is a par 3 course, and we'll also be reviewing the other par 3 courses in the Wolverhampton area shortly. The Ledene is a par 54 and this play is just a little under 2,000 yards. Hole 1, and at 118 yards, the obvious trouble is right in front of you as there's a big tree right in the middle of the fairway. However, you should be able to get over this. This tree isn't particularly tall. The main aim is to simply get past the tree off the tee. Once you get to the green slopes from front right to back left, and it's quite a hill depending on where the pin is. So you might find yourself with a difficult putt either up or downhill from here. There are trees surrounding the entirety of this green, so making sure that this tee shot is really accurate is really important to give yourself the best chance at par. Hole 2, and off the tee this does feel quite a narrow shot. However, once you get past sort of 20-30 yards, this fairway does open out. The miss for me here is anything down the left hand side. Anything to the right you'll be playing into a green that has a bunker to the right hand side of it, and there are trees all the way down that right hand side there. Once you do get to the green slopes from back to front, so you may find yourself with, depending where the pin is obviously, 2 putt that's uphill or 2 putt that's downhill. For the best chance at par, you will need to try and work on a little bit left to right off the tee. However, you've got plenty of space to try and get yourself up and down from if you do miss left. Hole 3, and at only 70 yards, this is a really short chip actually. However, this is quite a difficult hole to play up to. The difficulty here is that the green is raised, and all the way around it, it's going to be a really tough up and down. Again, the miss here is short. Actually going too long, you'll find yourself into a water hazard. Anything either left or right, you're just going to find thick grass, which is going to be really difficult to get out of. But once you do get to the green is completely flat, and you'll have no problem with 2-putting from here. Hole 4, and a chip of roughly the same distance here, so almost 80 yards. However, there is a small bunker just at the front side of this green on the left there. So I would recommend playing a tee shot to the back of the green, so aiming to play the full 80 yards there. I do not recommend going in this bunker. It is small and it is really difficult to get out of. The miss here is actually short, if anything. Or you have got a bit of option out to the right. However, there does seem to be an old bunker that has been filled in, so I certainly wouldn't recommend playing to the right of this green if you can. Also, I wouldn't be too disappointed if you do miss the green on your first shot. This green is tiny, so once you do actually get to the green, a 2-putt is certainly on the cards here. Hole 5, and another short hole at roughly 70 yards. The play here for me would be anything down the right hand side of this green. As you'll see on the video, there's a bit of tree trouble down the right hand side there, but anything past or anything towards the right hand side of that green, it does really open out, so you have got a bit of a miss there. Also, playing down the right hand side will mean that you'll avoid the tree that is protecting that sort of left hand side, and it's the first tree that you can see on the video. But this shouldn't cause you too many problems considering it is only relatively small. Once you get to the green though, the green is fairly flat but does offer a little bit of a left to right slope as you're looking at it. So again, the 2-putt is certainly on the cards for this hole here. Hole 6, and a very intimidating shot again here. This is a really narrow gap, and anything down the left hand side is out of bounds. Again, aiming for the right hand side of this green, this will allow you to miss anything down the right hand side, and anything that is pulled for the right handed golfer, again you've got plenty of space out onto the left there. Once you are at the green does slope ever so slightly down to that front right hand side, so depending where the pin is, again should have no problems with getting down for a 2-putt here. Hole 7, and the difficulty here lies that the green is split. So the back portion is slightly raised, and if the pin is there as it was on the day that I was playing, do not go and attack this pin. Just play to the middle of the green and give yourself the best option of giving yourself a 2-putt. Anything too long, there is a water hazard behind, and also there is quite a severe bank behind there. Anything to the left hand side, and there is a bunker that is pure evil. If you do get in there, it is going to be so difficult to get out, and also try and keep it on the green. If you are going to miss, probably anything short will be the best option. However, depending where the pin is, again, this is going to be a really difficult hole to get up and down for par. Hole 8, and a hole that plays slightly shorter than the yardage would suggest. This does play quite a bit downhill, so you could probably easily knock 5 yards off the actual distance. However, the miss here is long and right, so don't be shy at going a little bit too hard on this one. There is plenty of trouble on this hole, so all the way down the left hand side is out of bounds. Anything to the right, you'll see a thick clump of trees, really thick grass, and you do not want to be going in there if you're trying to save par. Once you get to the green plays like a little bowl, so all balls will sort of filter down into the middle, and depending where the pin is, you might find yourself with a downhill putt for pretty much every angle. Hole 9, and I think probably the hardest green to hit on the course. This green is made up of 2 sort of split tiers at the back and also a false front. The actual landing point here is probably to the right hand side of the green, and you'll see that to be almost the middle tier. And the majority of the time that I've played this course, this is where the pin is. If it is on that tier on the left, this is not going to be an easy shot. The green is slightly raised and will fall off at every sort of angle around the green, and again will be a really difficult up and down wherever you find yourself off the green. The shot for me on this hole though, what I would recommend is playing a really high parachuting shot so it lands nice and softly on the green. I did try to do this on the day, however the backspin got the better of the ball and that rolled straight off the green. Hole 10, and this also starts with a really tough tee shot. The line is actually to the left hand side of the green. Anything out the left, you'll find a bit of space, so you've got a bit of room for error. However, anything to the right of the green, you'll also find a water hazard. There's also a tree blocking the front of this green, as you'll see on the video. So give yourself enough club to get to the back of the green. This will help to avoid the tree, and will also give you a bank actually at the back of the green to help anything going too far. Once you are at the green does slope down towards the water hazard, so you might find yourself with a slippery downhill putt if you are towards the back of the green. Hole 11, and the signature hole here at the Ledene Golf Centre. A short wedge, but this hole plays entirely over water. This green looks tiny, and as you'll see on the video, the green slopes down towards the water. There's also a lot of trouble surrounding the back left hand side of this green, so anything missed right would probably be the best thing to do, as there's a bit more space out here than it is going long and left. However, you will have to navigate a couple of trees just protecting the water there. Once you do get to the green though, as this green is so small, 2-putt is again on the cards here for this hole. Hole 12, and another intimidating shot off the tee here. You are trying to thread your ball through really thick bushes the entire way down the left hand side there. There's also a clump of trees down the right hand side, and again you will not want to go here. The miss is actually to the right hand side of this green, as it does actually open out a little bit. This hole is slightly above you off the tee, so we'll certainly play the full 110 yards off the tee. Once you get to the green though, the front portion of the green will slope down back towards the tee, and the back portion of the green is actually quite flat, so depending where the pin is, you should have a fairly straightforward 2-putt here. Hole 13 and another tough tee shot here. The tee shot actually plays slightly downhill. The difficulty here is that you have a very narrow target to try and get through. You have all the trouble down the left hand side there, which is really thick and dense, and you won't find your ball if you go in there. You've also got a few trees and bushes down the right hand side, and the other side of the green is the water that is on the 11th hole. The miss actually here is on the right hand side of the green, or play short of the green. This will allow you to get a good opportunity of getting up and down either side. With the green being fairly small, you do have a good chance at 2-putting here. However, the green does run slightly down towards the front of the green. Hole 14 and the longest hole on the course, playing a little over 150 yards. The green is actually above you off the tee, so you're probably going to be playing more like 155, 160 yards. As is the story with this course, plenty of trouble all around here. There's a line of trees all the way down the left hand side, and anything further left than that will be in thick bushes, which you will not be able to find your ball in. The right hand side again, more trees and bushes, so you certainly won't want to find there. I'd actually play long on this hole and try and cover the entirety of the hole. There's a few sprinkling of trees, and the other side of those trees is the fairway to the next hole, so you've got a bit of leeway here. This green is no more than about 10 yards deep, so your yardage control is really important to try and get up and down here, or even try and get to a par. Once you do get to the green is sloped from back to front, so you will likely find yourself with an uphill putt. Hole 15, and the difficulty here is that you won't be able to see the bottom of the pin. The green is sunken slightly from the fairway. The miss actually is to the left hand side of this green, or anything short. You do not want to be going long, or you do not want to be going right of this green. There's thick grass, thick trees, and that is going to either mean that your ball's missing or leave you with a very tough shot and get up and down with. Once you do get to the green slopes from right to left, so depending where the pin is, again you might find yourself with a putt that does move from both sides. Hole 16 and another difficult pin to try and get at. This green is raised, so anything that is either side or long or short of the green is likely to be a really tricky up and down from here. Miss here is actually long, so I recommend playing the full yardage for the distance that you're given, and anything too short will be okay, as you'll find yourself that there's a bit of a slope to the front of the green. Once at the green, there is another good opportunity at a 2-putt here. No real difficulty to this green. Hole 17, and visually this actually looks quite a difficult green to try and hit. However, the green has a bank the entire way around it. The entrance to the green is no more than about 5 yards long, so if you don't see your ball off the tee, then again it probably isn't the end of the world and you'll likely find your way onto the green. Anything too far long, left or over to the right, again you will have a bit of difficulty finding this, as there's plenty of trees surrounding the entirety of this green, and there's also thick grass and thick rough all the way around it. Once at the green though, the green plays like an upturned down saucer, so depending where the pin is, most angles you will likely have an uphill putt up to the pin. Hole 18, and actually will feel quite a nice easy hole to end with. This is quite a nice green to get at. There's no real sort of trouble. There is a bit of a water hazard to the left hand side of the green, but this is quite a distance away. If you do miss the green, there is quite a good opportunity for you to get up and down here. Not really too many trees around, not really too much trouble, and the green is actually quite flat most of the way around. Nice opportunity to finish on a par. So on to the review. As with previous videos, we've broken this down into three sections. So based on the facilities and the general feel, the course based on course layout, difficulty and condition, and then also finally the value of the course. For the general feel and facilities, I gave this a score of 3 out of 5. You have everything you want here at Ledene, so you've got a full length driving range, you've got a small chipping area, you've got a small putting area. It's just on a slightly smaller scale, and to be fair, the greens that you play on in the practice facilities are quite similar to what you'll get out on the course, so that's quite nice to see. There's a little cafe area that sells your sort of hot drinks and obviously your essential chocolate bars for the round. As you approach the Ledene golf course, you'll notice that there's a sort of shared driveway, and this is actually full of potholes, so you do have to dodge a few potholes on the way there. But once you get there, like I say, you're sort of really welcome, and you sort of know that you're at a sort of small golf course. The staff are fantastic. I've been playing there since I was a child and have got on really well with the staff. Got to know them really well, and they're always friendly, always willing to help out. I've had a few lessons with Jeremy, who is the pro there, and has fixed my swing quite well in the past, and I always do sort of go to him if there's any troubles that I've got in my swing. For the course condition, I'm going to give this a score of 3 out of 5. The main reason that I've marked this down is that the greens aren't particularly brilliant. They're full of unrepaired pitch marks, they're cut a little bit too long, and they are quite bobbly. It has been pretty wet on the sort of run up to me playing Ledene. I played this in October, and the grass does feel sort of quite long and sort of slow. But if you do play this in the summer, you'll notice a sort of marked difference in the greens. They are considerably better, sort of those summer months. But more recently, you will have noticed on the video that they have done quite a bit of work to the tee boxes, which is a really sort of good welcome. I haven't played the course for a few years, so it was nice to see the sort of changes and some of the sort of the developments that they have done over those last few years. So that was really good to see. For the difficulty of the course, I'm actually going to give this a score of 4 out of 5. This course is hard. I've played this quite a lot, so I know quite a lot of the holes, and I am really comfortable with the yardages that you'll come across at the course. You'll find as you will go through the video that you have to play sort of every different shot, and you have to be really on it on your game to score really low on this course. To be honest, if it wasn't for the greens being really grippy and the amount of backspin that I was getting off the greens, I probably would have scored a lot better. I probably could have easily dropped 2 shots, and this would have left me sort of a few over par, to be perfectly honest, and much lower than what my handicap would have given me. So what I tend to do here is give myself half of my sort of current handicap as a sort of measure of playing this course. And as I mentioned previously, I've played this course quite a lot, and if you aren't on your game, this course will let you know and really punish you for missing the greens or not being as accurate or as good with your short game as you possibly could. As I mentioned, the greens are bobbly, and this will certainly affect your score, so you do need to be sort of pretty on it with your putter as well. I've given the layout a score of 4 out of 5, and I sort of mentioned it earlier that no hole sort of feels the same, even though there's quite a lot of yardages that are the same. Each and every hole has a different amount of trouble, different type of trouble, so it really does test every part of your game. There's plenty of water hazards, there's plenty of long grass, there's lots of trees, lots of out of bounds, and it really does sort of test every part of your game. And there's a good mix of sort of greens. They are quite small, so to be honest, don't feel too disheartened if you don't hit every single green in regulation, or even if you don't hit one at all. It certainly won't be a reflection of your ability. They're just very, very small. And finally, onto the value. I paid £12 for the round, which I thought was pretty good, so I'm going to give this a score of 3 out of 5. They do also have an option to play all day, so this is at $17.50, I believe. So if you hadn't punished yourself quite enough during your first round, you can go and play that again for that little bit of extra cost there. And as I mentioned, this course will test every single part of your game. It will test your ability to handle yardages, it will test your short game in and around the greens, it will test your putting. It is a genuinely good test of your sort of all-round game. If you've got 2 hours or an hour and a half or so, again, have a journey down to Codsall Wood, play Ledene, and let me know how you get on around there. So that brings the total score to 17 out of 25, and quite a good score. The final thing that I need to mention is the driving range is by far the cheapest in Wolverhampton. There are several driving ranges around Wolverhampton, and certainly compared to Three Hammers anyway, this is a sort of half of the price of Three Hammers. So certainly worth a visit if you didn't want to particularly spend too much money on the driving range. So always another good benefit there. If you've made it this far and haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Next round we will be at the Belfry, so I'll look forward to putting that one up in January sometime. Thanks guys, speak to you then. Bye.